Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my live reaction to the college football first rankings, the college football playoff committee's rankings here uh, for their first rankings of the 2019 season. Trying to get a bit of a better camera angle. There you go. I hate that light back there. I really do. Um, Trying to see if I can get a better camera angle. Is that better, maybe? That might work. Nah. Can't have the lights off because you guys can't see me. But basically, my reaction to the rankings. If I sound a bit like stuffed up, I am. I do have a head cold, but I still want to get this video out. I'm gonna give you my rankings right now. So let me get the my rankings up here on my handy dandy phone. As you can see right here. Okay, here we go. My rankings go as following. I have LSU number 1, number 2 is Ohio State, number 3 is Alabama, number 4 is Clemson, number 5 is Penn State, number 6 is Georgia, number 7 is Oregon, number 8 is Utah, number 9 is Baylor, number 10 is Minnesota, number 11 is Oklahoma, number 12 is Florida, number 13 is Auburn, 14 is Michigan, 15 Cincinnati, 16 Notre Dame, 17 Boise State, 18 Iowa, 19 Memphis, 20 is SMU, 21 Wisconsin, 22 Wake Forest, 23 Navy, 24 Kansas State, and 25 San Diego State. Those are my rankings. Those same 25 teams are in the AP top 25, but it is in a bit of a different order, obviously. So, yeah. Damn, Baylor's women team, they're blowing out New Hampshire here, 86-26. By the way, college basketball, it starts tonight. It looks like they're going to be doing it between this Kansas Duke game and the Michigan State and I forget who else they play. Who Michigan State plays? It's whoever's the number 4 team or the number 2 team, I think maybe. Yeah, it's whoever the number 2 team. I'm a Maryland Terps fan. I think we are winning the whole thing, in both men's and women's. So yeah, but yeah, I just gave you my top 25. A few explanations. I mean, I think Oregon and Utah deserve to be in the top 10. I put Baylor over Minnesota because I think Baylor has more convincing wins. Oklahoma does not impress me at all. You put Florida ahead of Auburn because Florida has the head-to-head. You put Memphis ahead of SMU because they have the head-to-head. Um, and a few others. I'm not that sold on Kansas State, but I do have them number 24 in my rankings. I might have to go get some tissues. But yeah, that's basically my rankings. I think LSU has a better resume than Ohio State. That's why I have LSU number 1. Usually what I do is a video that I compare the AP top 25 comparing my top 25. But since the college football playoff committee is going to release their first rankings here in a minute, um, basically I'm doing my rankings right now. It's going to be a bit after 9 o'clock, even though I might get them on Bleacher Report because of because the Kansas Duke game is going to run over here. It's 8:51 right now. There's still 7+ minutes in the game, and they'll go to commercial break. So maybe I'll just have to react on it on the website. Yeah, I'm gonna go get some tissues. Why I am yeah, I'm gonna go get some tissues. I'll be back in a minute. Okay. Ooh, sorry about that. Just need some tissues. Not feeling well. But I'll give you my live reaction. I'll compare it to my top 25, which I just listed off. So yeah. Basically, I'm gonna stick around here and wait for a few minutes till these rankings come out. They're supposed to come out at 9 o'clock, and it's 8:53 right now. So if you want to comment, please go ahead and comment. Maryland basketball's winning. I know they're winning. I'm not watching the game, however, because I think this is more important because I know Maryland. Man, I knew that Maryland win their game against Holy Cross tonight. They're up 70-51. And what's up, Raheem? How you doing? Man, I'm sorry, guys. Sick as a cow. Florida's only up by 13 on something called North Florida. North Florida, right trash. Yeah, Smith looks like he's doing well, 12 points and 9 boards. Yeah, Michigan State versus Kentucky. Oh, man. So since week 2, all my number ones have been Clemson. It's been Clemson. It's been Georgia. It's been Clemson. It's been Georgia. Clemson, Georgia, and LSU have been my number 3 number ones in my top 25s. Team Maryland was in my top 25 at one point after their big time week 2 win. I had them at number 23 before they lost to Temple. Memphis should be in the top 10 if we're doing the rankings. If we're doing rankings, that makes sense. In basketball or in football, Eli? Because in basketball, I think they are top 10. And if they're not, that's embarrassing. Because Memphis might win the whole thing. I think Maryland was going to win the whole thing. Football, the SMU win was huge. Yes, it was huge, but Memphis should not be in the top 10. They lost to Temple. So if they were undefeated, maybe. Even though I'll say no. It's going to be interesting to see where they put these group of 5 teams at here in these polls because I can make an argument that, for example, my highest group of 5 team right now is Cincinnati at 15. I don't think they're going to have Cincinnati at 15. And I agree the AAC is better than the ACC this year, but I don't know how much this committee is going to respect that. We have a tight game here, 3-point game. And now, we went in and out. 3-point game here under 7 minutes left in this Duke Kansas game. I'm not really paying attention to it though. If it was the tournament, I will be. Most people do underrate the group of 5, but let's be honest. Can Memphis, Cincinnati, can they go head to head with Ohio State, LSU, Alabama, Clemson, Penn State, Georgia, Oregon, Utah, Baylor, Minnesota, maybe Minnesota for some of them, and maybe Baylor as well, maybe those 2 teams, but Oklahoma, I will pick the Power 5 team, those teams, over every group of 5 opponent. Yeah, Eli, I know you like the group of 5, but I'm serious. Ohio State, I consider Cincinnati the best group of 5 team right now, and Ohio State shut them out 42-0. Memphis will not beat Utah. Memphis will not beat Georgia. Memphis will not beat Oregon. Memphis will most likely not beat Florida. Notre Dame, I mean, I give them a shock as Notre Dame. I'll pick Notre Dame probably at the end by 2 touchdowns. I'm telling you, these group of 5 teams, pit them up against the elite teams. UCF, they beat Auburn once. That's all that happened. Okay, they should be out in 3 minutes. This game is going to run over because it's 5:40 left in the game, and it's close, which means it's going to take longer. It's not a blowout. And I'm disgusted that they do this every time. They usually have like a big college basketball games on, and then they squish the rankings right in between. I don't like that at all. I have Baylor ranked number 6 and Minnesota ranked number 7 in my rankings. I have them 9 and 10. Baylor 9, Minnesota 10. No legit wins from Minnesota. Baylor, I mean, they have a couple quality wins, but I mean, they don't have like that big win. If they could beat Oklahoma, which that game is at home for them, I think you could get them into the top 6, top 7. And if they go undefeated, they should be in the college football playoffs, including a conference championship win. What are these ref uniforms? Man. I'll put undefeated teams first, but once they lose, I'll drop them down a lot. Well, if you think about undefeated teams, you do think there will be number 1, but I mean, I think Penn State will beat Baylor and Minnesota. I think Penn State will beat Minnesota this week, by the way. If Minnesota beats Penn State, I'll move them up significantly. Like, they'll be at least top 7. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think LSU will blow out Minnesota by 3 touchdowns. I think Ohio State will blow out Minnesota by 3 touchdowns. That's why they're not as high in my rankings as maybe some others. Like the highest I've seen Minnesota was like 8, and the AP has them 13. So, but they're undefeated. They deserve to be in the top 10. But overall, I just can't put them any higher than what I have them at. I would take. I think a 1-loss Oregon, a 1-loss Utah is better than Baylor and Minnesota. They're. That's true. The NFL is different though than college. The eye test matters a lot in college. And I'm telling you, watching Minnesota, they will lose by 3 touchdowns to Ohio State if they face each other in the Big 12 championship. They will lose by 3 touchdowns. And I think the rankings. I'm interested to see where this committee pits them at. You are what your record says you are. That is true, but in college football, there's an eye test. You gotta have the eye test in there. NFL, correct. And speaking about Minnesota, PJ Fleck in Minnesota just agreed on a 7-year extension through 2026. So he ain't leaving. This game it's just under 3 minutes. It's 9:01. I don't know if I have the rankings or not. I might have the rankings. I'm still going to show them live. I hate how they do this. They squish it in between 2 college basketball games. 3:35 left in this game. They're already doing conference play? Virginia Tech and Clemson playing each other. Well, absolutely, yeah. But at the end, I mean, you agree on like for instance, my top 25 is the same 25 teams that is in the AP poll. So basically, I mean, like for instance, Mark Rogers TV, he has a top 25 he comes out with, and during like week 4, week 5, it makes no sense. But now you're starting to see it makes mostly kind of sense. I question him at Texas at 23, but that's it. Because I don't think Texas is a top 25 team at all. And if they're in these rankings, that's bullshit. Texas should not be in the top 25. A 3-loss team. You lost to TCU. You lost to you lost to who else? I mean, LSU, Oklahoma, fine, but you lost to TCU. Texas should not be in the top 25. I rank mine as 2 before the AP pool comes out, and me and the AP pool had the same top 25 teams, different order, but had the same top 25 teams. So, basically, I personally think that my top 25 is a pretty good top 25 if that's the case. If I have like 23, 24 teams that this committee has in my top 25, my top 25 is a pretty good top 25 because I can make an argument on why I place every team in my top 25 where they at. And by the way, if you're just joining, if you want to hear my top 25, go to the beginning of the video. And I just listed my top 25. It's right here on my phone. And basically, that's what it is. They have Jesse Palmer and Joey Gatewood. God damn it. Jesse Palmer and Joey Gatewood do not know what the hell they're talking about. You thought about paying Air Force in your top 25? You thought about paying Air Force in your top 25? I gotta look. I know Air Force has a win against Colorado. You thought about paying Air Force in your top 25? I consider paying Air Force in my top 25 a few weeks ago. Okay, this game has 3:25 left and it's tied at 59. I hope it doesn't go into overtime. They lost to Navy, who's a top 25 team, and they lost to Boise State. So, okay, they lost to 2 top 25 teams right now. What's their best win? At Colorado, maybe? What's Colorado? 3-6? Maybe Hawaii's a win? Is there our best win? What's Hawaii? Maybe Utah State. Hawaii's 5-4. Um, Utah State, where are they? I know they have a few losses, 4-4. Yeah, Air Force should not be a top 25 team. Now they have basically no one else on the schedule, so I have to disagree with you there, Eli. There was no way Air Force should be a top 25 team. I'm just on ESPN. I'm just on ESPN because I wanted to watch the top 25 also the Michigan State game after. I'm not watching the Michigan State game after. I don't like how they have it set up, squishing between 2 basketball games. Now, granted, I think since this game's running over a bit, I think they still get the same amount of time. UCF top 25. I don't think UCF should be in the top 25. And I thought they hung around. I thought they were hanging around a bit too much. I thought, and granted, they do deserve respect, but I know the 7-2. But what's UCF's best win? Stanford. I mean, granted, the 2 losses aren't bad losses, but their best wins probably Stanford or at Temple. That's probably the 2 best wins. They have a game this Friday against Tulsa. So on the road. Tulsa's going to give them a good matchup. Tulsa, listen, they're 2-6, but they're one of those teams. They're going to play you physical. So, would not surprise me if UCF loses this Friday. And you said Indiana. I know Indiana is a 2-loss team, but I don't think the resume is there for Indiana. Yeah, Indiana's best win is probably on the road against Nebraska. I mean, they lost to Michigan State and Ohio State, and their next two games are probably going to at least lose one of them at Penn State and Michigan at home. I do think they could beat Michigan at home, but Indiana, I didn't consider them in my top 25. Their best wins on the road against Nebraska, and might be on the road against Maryland as well. That might be their best win. I mean, who the hell have they beat? If they want it to be the same night. Yeah, it should be before. I don't know why they squished it. I think it hit that. God damn. I'm hoping this game doesn't go into overtime. It's 62-61 Duke over Kansas right now. These are good opening night matchups, though. I'll say that. Duke's up by one with one. We're now up by 4. 1:30 left. They just took a timeout, I think, Kansas. Top 10. 1 LSU, 2 Ohio State, 3 Alabama, 4 Penn State, 5 Clemson, 6 Baylor, 7 Minnesota, Oregon, 8 Georgia, 9 Memphis, 10. Now, I think you can make the argument of Penn State and Clemson. I think you can make that argument that Penn State should be ahead of Clemson. I'm fine with that. I think that Penn State, personally, I don't think I think Clemson's wins outside of North Carolina is a bit more convincing. I think their wins are a bit more convincing than Penn State's, but you can make that argument based on resume. And it would not surprise me if they have Penn State ahead of Clemson. But Memphis at 10 is absurd. And I think you have Baylor and Minnesota too high. Now, granted, you're correct saying they're undefeated. They deserve respect, but I think you have those two teams too high. Bama's number 1. Ohio State's overrated. I'm a Dogs fan, but I am honest. Are you a Georgia fan that is pissed about the whole Justin Fields thing? LOL, you're mad. I don't know why, but I don't like most of the freshmen this year for backsaw. So I like Michigan State because they had the same team as they did last year. Yeah, I mean, Maryland, they kind of have a young team. I cheer for them, and I will be cheering against Michigan State when we play them. But I know Michigan State has a good team. I did pick Maryland to win the both men's and women's whole thing. Utah should be in that. Yeah, Utah should be in that top 10. You have Oregon in it. Like Utah and Oregon, to me, they're at equal playing levels. I thought Utah, their loss against USC is not on them. I thought there was some bad repping in that game, so I give them a bit of a pass there. And I give in Oregon their one loss is against Auburn. Let's see, Oklahoma 11, 12 is Utah, 13 is Florida, 14 is Auburn, 15 is Wisconsin. Wisconsin's too high. 16 is Michigan, 17 Cincinnati, 18 Kansas State. I think they're too high. 19 is Notre Dame, 20 Wake Forest, 21 SMU, 22 Navy, 23 San Diego State, 24 Boise State, 25 UCLA. That's a lot of group of 5 teams. That is true, but Wisconsin lost to Illinois. Oh, you went to the same high school as Justin Fields? That's cool, man. Ohio State, they did play Wisconsin. I think Michigan State's a decent team, obviously, and they did beat Cincinnati. So they didn't. So they didn't play no one. They played a few teams. But yeah, that's cool. You went to the same high school as Justin Fields. The best prospect I went to high school with, he was an O lineman, a 3-star O lineman from Maryland. You remove App State that you had in your top 10. You had App State in your top 10, and you removed them because they lost to Georgia Southern. I wouldn't drop them that low. They lost to Georgia Southern. I had them at 20, so I just dropped them altogether too. My top 10 for football: number 1, LSU; number 2, Ohio State; 3, Bama; 4, Penn State; 5, Clemson; 6, Georgia; 7, Oregon; 8, Florida; 9, Baylor; 10, Minnesota. You got to explain 8, Florida, though. You got to explain that one to me. Number 8, Florida. Now, I think Florida at the end will be a top 10 team, but I don't think you could place them in your top 10 right now. Told you Syracuse was terrible. Yep, I was wrong on that pick. Man, yeah, you must go to one of the schools that have a lot of prospects. Look at my rankings. Who do you think in the rankings I snub? Well, I think you snubbed Utah a little bit at 12. I think you snubbed Iowa. I think you're snubbing who else are you snubbing? Because you don't even have Iowa in your top 25. How are you doing, Hooper Jonah? How are you doing? Look at your top 25. I don't think you had Iowa in there. Let me screw up. Yeah, you're snubbing Iowa, Eli. You're definitely snubbing Iowa. I'm not seeing them. And I think you're snubbing who else are you snubbing? Yeah, I think you're snubbing Iowa for sure. So, bro, glad to be here. When is the rankings coming out? This game has 26.2 seconds left. This Kansas Duke game, and then they're going to be out after that. Kansas has the ball. They're going to try to tie it. Hopefully, they miss it so we can get the damn rankings. They're going for the quick 2. Nope. Allen Duke, 14.4 seconds. Damn it. By the way, I hate Duke, so I hope so. This is hard for me to cheer for, but I want the damn rankings. This game doesn't matter in college basketball. Catches it, 12, swing, rebound. Duke got the board. They fouled. If they 4.2 seconds left, and Duke could just hit a free throw too, they'll get the victory here. We'll get the rankings. I have Iowa at 18. That's where I think they should be ranked, Eli. Iowa is a team they lost to Michigan and Penn State. 2 very close games, low scoring as well. Outside of that, they beat everybody else on the schedule. LSU 1, Ohio State 2. Alabama 3, Clemson 4, Penn State 5, Georgia 6, 7, Oregon 8, Utah 9, Oklahoma 10, Florida. I will pit Baylor and Minnesota ahead of Florida right now. With a 2-loss team compared to an undefeated team. I'm very interested to see 2 things in these rankings, or 3 things. Do they favor any conferences? Where do they rank Baylor and Minnesota? And where or how many group of 5 teams they throw in here? Jay Billis pisses me off. Where you have Syracuse ranked 9 in the top 25. If I was doing my top 10 verse list, probably there. I mean, they really disappoint me. Our games are a snooze fest. Yeah, I know, but they win their games, and you gotta give them credit where credit's due. War Eagle. Yeah, War Eagle. Where do I have Auburn at? I have Auburn at 13. I have them behind Florida at 12. 11 Utah, 12 Oklahoma, 13 Auburn, 14 Memphis, 15 Wisconsin, 16 Wake Forest, 17 Michigan, 18 Boise State, 19 Cincinnati, 20 Iowa, 21 Notre Dame, 22 Kansas State, 23 SMU, 24 Navy, 25 Oklahoma State. Explain Oklahoma State to me. I think you're overranking Wake Forest and Memphis. I think you're underranking Notre Dame a little bit. Besides that, those rankings are fine. I don't think Clemson or Penn State is better than Georgia, but that upset 2 SC fricked us. Yeah, that's the one thing holding you back. Even if that was a close game to South Carolina, I would probably put you ahead of Clemson and Penn State at least, and probably Alabama as well. What teams do you think Syracuse could beat in the Power Five? I think they could beat Rutgers. I think they could beat Oregon State, maybe UCLA, maybe those teams. I think they could beat Rutgers though. Arkansas, Vandy, 68-66 Duke. The game's over. 1 LSU, 2 Ohio State, 3 Bama, 4 Auburn. No way Auburn's number 4. I always think Auburn should be in the top 10. Okay, these rankings are about to come out 18 minutes late, so hopefully they turn around and at least keep it on for the 18 minutes that they couldn't get on. Oregon State and UCLA are good offenses. I'll give you Arkansas and Vandy, Rutgers maybe. No, you guys could beat Rutgers. I can't show the screen because YouTube will block my channel. I know Auburn has a tough schedule, but you gotta win those games. Now, do I think Auburn should be in a New Year's Six bowl if they go 10-2? Absolutely. If even 9-3, absolutely. So yeah, Mark Chunky went up. 1 Ohio State, 2 LSU, 3 Bama, 4 Penn State, 5 Clemson. I agree with that. I have Clemson, I have Penn State, but I think you can make that argument. For Oklahoma State, they have a top 5 running back in the nation. They lost by 6 in Austin and Barry versus Vandy. Besides that, they beat good Big 12 teams and dominated non-conference. Let me look at the resume. By the way, hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Greatly appreciate you do that. I hate advertising, but I need to get the likes up on this. They're interviewing the Duke players, so hopefully we get out of here. They did lose to Texas Tech, Oklahoma State. I can't get past that. Yeah, I can't get past that Texas Tech. I almost forgot about that. I can't get past that. That's why I don't think you can put Oklahoma State in your top 25. Now, if they beat Texas Tech, I think there's an argument there, but there's no way you're getting that to your top 25. By the way, you guys can hear the volume on this, but I cannot show the screen because YouTube will shut down my channel because they have strict policies. But you guys can hear the volume. Here we go. We'll give you this is my real reaction right here. I can't believe it. Will we have 1 versus 2 in football as well? Reese Davis, Kirk Herbstreit, Ron Burgundy. I can't believe that Joey Gowrie and Jesse Palmer in the set. That's sickening to me. Yeah, I mean, San Diego State, they only have 1 loss. I think you got to put them in there. I think LSU scored a lot on Bama, but Bama will outscore them. 38-31 Bama. The way they do this is terrible. And they go into a damn break. Maryland won 95-71 against Holy Cross. Yeah, I know. I went on an absolute rant on that, I think, about Joey Gowrie. And Jesse Palmer had Clemson at 1 as well. I went on an absolute rant saying, why the hell do you guys care about last year in the YouTube comment section? Care about this year. Clemson's clearly not the number 1 team. Best team that isn't in the top 25. Man, I don't know. Let me think about that. Let me think about that. Maybe, man, I would still go Appalachian State. That's not in the top 25. Tulane got blown out by Memphis and Navy, I think. Yeah, Tulane's a good team, but they got blown out a bit too much. Oops. I could turn it up a little bit. I don't want that zoning out my voice though, because I'm already I have a head cold and I'm not really screaming, so I'll turn up the volume a little bit, but that's it. Yeah, they only got blown out once. They lost to Navy. They have 3 losses. I would still go with App State. Georgia, no, that victory for Georgia Southern did not surprise me against App State. So yeah, and I would take App State over Texas. I think Texas is a bit overrated right now. I wish Steve Barat was in here, but he left because his team. He talked a lot of trash during the summer, and it didn't work out. Are you from Alabama? No, I'm from Maryland. It probably sounds like I'm from Alabama because I'm all stuffed up and everything. Most improved team in the country. Man, I didn't see. I gotta give them Minnesota. I didn't see them coming. Baylor's another one. I think that LSU obviously is one. I think North Carolina's one. I mean, I know they're 4-5, but I mean, all their games are close games, and they're winning some of those close games. So I think you gotta give them credit. Virginia Tech is one that I didn't see coming. I still think they're not that good, but I mean, they're 6-2. Who win Wake Forest versus Memphis? Man, I'll probably go. Man, that's a tough one. Both of those teams to score. The 5. Yeah, I forgot they lost Virginia Tech to Notre Dame. But that Notre Dame game, that's nothing to be ashamed of. Man, that's a tough one. Wake Forest versus Memphis. Okay, here we go. One of the rankings revealed from the College Football Playoff Selection Committee moments away from seeing him along with you. Do some stupid thing. You'll go with Wake, Syracuse, Buffalo. Man, I did not know. That's a damn good crushing. LSU, Penn State. Yeah, Penn State. They came out of nowhere. I thought they were a top 25 team, but I didn't think they were going to be this good. Like I thought they were going to be good, but not this good. I'll probably. Man, I'm gonna go with Memphis in that Wake Forest Memphis matchup. I'll go with Memphis. I think Memphis. If it's in Memphis, I'll go Memphis. Man, if it's in Memphis, I'll go Memphis. If it's in Wake, I'll go Wake. Neutral field, damn. I mean, 100 times they face it. I think it's 50-50. I'm gonna go with Wake on the neutral site. And Wake is the second best team in that conference. By the way, Florida State, Syracuse Balfour Sports, since you brought them up, I think Syracuse could beat them.
College Football Playoff Selection Committee met in Grapevine, Texas. They checked their hat at the door. All allegiance is there. Doing it for the good of the playoff. Rob Mullins is the chair of the selection committee. He will join us to talk about the rankings that we are going to see along with you. You probably know by now, we don't get a peek ahead of time. We do it at the same time as you get to see them at home. What are you most looking forward to finding out? I just think of the big picture, guys. This is fun.
I don't care about what Jesse Palmer says. Oh, yeah, he did already lose to them. I think you can beat them, though. I'm telling you, Florida State, what's going on down there in Florida State, I mean, Florida State is one of those schools or one of those teams right now that I think is an absolute dumpster fire. KJ Hamler will be a beast in the NFL. I think he has a chance to be. I like Kirk Herbstreit. Oh, I'll take Desmond Howard over the 2 idiots in the middle. Put Desmond Howard in there. Put Lee Corso. David Pollock, put me in there. Put Stephen A. or Feinbaum in there. Joey Galway. Guy doesn't know shit. Same thing with Jesse Palmer. Doesn't know shit.
Second best strength of record in the country, which is a measure of how you've done against your schedule.
Probably will be. I don't think Florida State's gonna hire a real coach though. I think it's gonna be a joke for Florida State there for a while. They need someone that can rule with an iron fist. Okay, here we go. SMU's 25, Navy's 24, Oklahoma State's 23, Boise State's 22, and Memphis is 21. These are official rankings, 25 through 21. So whoever said Oklahoma State is a top 25 team, you're right. I think they're underrated Boise State. Okay. Cincinnati's number 20. Wake Forest is 19. Iowa is 18. Minnesota is 17. And Kansas State is 16. More on that Minnesota thing in a second. And hey, I had Iowa at 18, and they had Iowa at 18. I think they overrated Kansas State a little bit.
Obviously, the issue. No Power 5 competition in non-conference. Their combined record of Big Ten opponents, you're only 15 and 25. I think it's the reason why you see Minnesota. And one of the surprises of the year.
I do think Minnesota's too low, though. And I'm going to get on that here more this after the full rankings are out. Okay, here we go. 15's Notre Dame, 14 Michigan, 13 Wisconsin, 12 Baylor, 11 Auburn.
Yeah, we think Wisconsin is a little higher in this poll than they are in the AP right now.
I have Michigan at 14 as well.
Minnesota has to play Wisconsin. Ohio State, of course, has already played Wisconsin.
Which means they have Florida in the top 10, which is idiotic.
Top 10 now and start counting down.
Okay, here we go. Number 10 is Florida.
Georgia, just ahead of the Gators.
I don't think Florida should be in the top 10. Number 9's Oklahoma. Number 8 is Utah. I got that ranking correct.
Behind the Ducks, who look like they may be in the top 7.
There's Utah, only with the loss on the road on a Friday night to USC, and the Utes that great defense and a fine win at Washington on Saturday. All right, number 8. Let's see who number 7 is.
Number 7 is Oregon. So I have 7 and 8 correct.
That's right. And we're curious to see who Oregon or Utah would be ahead. These two teams are tracking to each other in the Pac-12 championship more than likely. Unless there's
I think the number one story of these rankings so far is how low they have Minnesota.
Actually, there's not a little bit more separation in those. But it's really interesting because
they have Minnesota at 17. I mean, that is very surprising to me. I thought they would have them at least in the top 15. They have Baylor at 12. And they have a lot of group of 5 teams in that 20 to 25 slot. I can't wait to see Ravens Texas 2 weeks, 17 Bank Stadium, man. And I hope I'll be supporting for Charlotte Watson and Luke Hopkins. Yeah, I think Hopkins is the best wide out of the league.
Kind of jostling potentially for that fourth college football playoff.
Remember,
I think they're underrating SMU a little bit. I think they're overrating Kansas State a little bit. They're underrating Minnesota. And I think they're overrating a few other teams. Okay, let's see. Georgia's number 6. I agree with that. I absolutely think Georgia's the 6th best team in the country. And they have a good win as well against Notre Dame. They have 2 top 25 wins, including a top 10 one, according to these rankings.
They control their own destiny. Look who they have to play at the end of this whole thing if they keep winning.
Here's probably the most interesting or second most interesting.
Let's see what they do here. Clemson's 5. I'm fine with that. I have Clemson 4, but I think you can make a legit argument there for Clemson at 5. Penn State's 4.
Penn State with that second best.
And you know what? I'm fine with that. I think that I still pick Clemson 4 and Penn State 5, but I'm okay with that.
Kent State have to play. Alabama, LSU got to play. We got to win out. We got to be waiting for the winner.
Okay, who's top? Well, we know who the top 3 teams are.
And for Penn State, there's so much more wood to chop this week in Minneapolis. Reese, you just touched on. They got to go to Columbus. If they
Sorry about UGA getting waxed by whoever they played in the SEC title. Sorry about UGA's getting waxed. You think Georgia's going to lose? I don't think they're going to get blown out by whoever they play in the SEC title game.
Right now, number 5 on the outside looking. But you know, the thing is,
Clemson is way better than 5. I think the team overall is way better than 5, but if you look at the resume, I think 5 is a good spot. I have them on number 4, but I'm fine with them at 5. Okay.
Number 3 right now. See how they stack up. At number 3.
Number 3 is Alabama.
LSU or Ohio State the whole time at 1.
So we're going to have 1 versus 3 or 2 versus 3 in Tuscaloosa on Saturday. Who's number 2?
2 is LSU, 1 is Ohio State.
The Buckeyes.
You want to know what that tells me? They think Ohio State is LSU has a better resume, and I think LSU should be the number 1 spot. Now, granted, if you're LSU, you're happy you're in the playoff rankings right now, but Ohio State, you look at them. If you compare LSU's and Ohio State's resumes, I would take LSU's resume all day long. So I disagree with that. I think LSU should be number 1. I'm fine with Alabama at 3. I'm fine with Penn State at 4, Clemson at 5, Georgia at 6, Oregon at 7, Utah at 8. I guess I'm fine with Oklahoma at 9. I think Florida's too high. Minnesota is ranked very low.
If you're a Clemson fan, take a deep breath. Everything is fine. The two of the teams in front of Clemson all play each other.
Oh, Clemson will be in the playoffs as long as they go undefeated. It's just that because LSU and Bama are going to cancel themselves, and Ohio State and Penn State are going to cancel themselves.
They're sitting there at 5. Are we ever going to be able to catch up?
Now, they do have a matchup against number 19, Wake Forest.
5 straight rankings. Don't take that into account.
When you've been that good, I think you just can't count them out. No, they're not being counted out. It's just that I think those 4 teams deserve to be ahead of Clemson right now, but those are a whole month of rankings, and I think that that overall, I just think that those teams are going to cancel each other out one way or the other. I'm going to go get the rankings so we can get them here on like a big screen.
Just 4 weeks ago, when Trevor Lawrence plays like this, their defense has been outstanding all year.
They're just showing the top 10 right now.
They're not going to make it. Clemson's the lock to make the playoffs.
All right, let's spin this ahead a little bit. The one thing I think it could indicate is should Clemson stumble but still win the ACC.
No way they put Clemson from UGA. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Clemson ahead of UGA. And the reason why is UGA, they lost to South Carolina, and Clemson's undefeated. Then Clemson's going to get their shot against South Carolina, and I'm guaranteeing you Clemson's going to go in there and beat them, probably by 3 or 4 touchdowns. Because let me tell you something, that South Carolina loss is looking pretty bad right now. I don't see how Ohio State's ahead of Bama. If you look at Ohio State and Bama, Ohio State I think has the better resume with quality wins over Michigan State. They beat Wisconsin, and they beat Cincinnati. There's no way NC State's going to beat Clemson. I mean, if you think about it.
There's a 2-loss team ahead of Clemson in terms of strength of record. Their best win is against Texas A&M, which at the time was ranked number 12. But I went down this, they're not ranked.
It's interesting, isn't it, though, that Alabama's ranked higher than both these teams? And
Ohio State has been the best team, but the resume, if you go on resumes, LSU should be ahead of Ohio State. I disagree with that. If you can look past this resume bullshit and they really watch football, you can tell Ohio State's the best team in the country and no one else is even close. I agree with that, but I'm more on resumes, and I just think that LSU should be ahead of Ohio State. Minnesota at 17, that must be crushing to their fans.
far down as they are. Now you got to remember they have Iowa State this week. They still have undefeated Baylor and Waco. They have Oklahoma State, which their resume is only going to get better. Not to mention potentially the Big 12 championship game. But I'd be a little concerned.
By the way, this top 25, I think, heavily favors the SEC. Heavily. And I think it does not favor the Big Ten. Because all of a sudden, you're going to look at that Minnesota. If Penn State beats Minnesota, that's just out of my scale of wins. I mean, that's just going to be a decent win. All top 25 favor the SEC. That is true. Why don't we go? Auburn and Texas are just big wins. They beat Florida as well. They beat 10 and 11. Ohio State's best wins 13.
First week of the season, they were winning with 9 seconds to go. Was the quote-unquote best loss of that group of 3 so far.
Bama would beat LSU 38-14. I have a 38-31.
Every Power 5 champion that will be ahead of Oklahoma.
I believe LSU will win because they are a better team this year. We'll see. It's gonna be number 1. It's gonna be number 2 LSU versus number 3 Bama. I'm still calling it the matchup of the century.
You still have Georgia in that mix too.
You have a Pac-12 champion sitting there with 1 loss. If LSU, not Bama, but if LSU were to lose a close game in a shootout in Tuscaloosa, they're going to have a case. You have the Pac-12 champion, and then you would have Oklahoma if they were to win out. That would be the debate for that 3rd team. Or the 4th team, and that might leave the Sooners out as we sit here right now.
We also have had a run, and Oklahoma was the victim of one of these. The teams
Okay,
being
I don't have any favoritism towards any of those teams. I'm telling you my opinion. Agree with how they dealt the ACC, American Pac-12, and Mountain West, but favor the SEC. The Big 12 is just favors. How did they favor the Big 12? They put Oklahoma at 9, which most of you were saying they should be at 9, and they put Baylor at 12. Which I have Baylor at 9. No, these rankings don't matter to Clemson because they're going to get in no matter what, I think, as long as they win out.
It's a clear message from the committee. When you schedule these non-conference games, you're rewarded. Win or lose, as long as
it should be.
I was surprised Cincinnati's at 20. And believe me, this is the initial, and it's nothing up top really jumps out at me, but Cincinnati's sitting at 20. Their only loss is to an Ohio State team. They played the
Yeah, they're on the rankings Cincinnati. I agree with Gabe. I actually agree with him for once.
I assume that the committee would say that Cincinnati win was a pretty good win, and they're still sitting at number 20. I expected them to be higher.
I think Oklahoma down where they are. Maybe a little bit of a surprise.
Clemson will get scared from Wake Forest. I will pick Baylor, Auburn, and Florida over Oklahoma for now at least. Can't say it doesn't seem to be over Minnesota, not even top 20. Minnesota's top 20. I don't care about who they play, they're top 20.
I don't see either one of those teams losing. I think they match up both with 1 loss, and the winner's going to be in a good spot.
The refs suck. Yeah, the refs do suck, especially in the NFL. Kansas State's not top 20. They are overranking Kansas State. That I would tell you. I can see why you can make that argument now because they're overranking Kansas State, which is surprising because you would think Oklahoma would be higher than. There's some MAC football happening right now. Toledo and Kent State are about to kick off the 4th quarter, 28-27 Toledo. In Western Michigan, they're up on Ball State 21-10. Minnesota should be top 15.
That's their only loss. Penn State's going to have just as big of an argument as LSU.
And the quickest ticket to expansion would be to have the entire playoff comprised of SEC and Big Ten teams.
Oh, yeah.
But that would lead Clemson to take a loss at some point. Yeah. And I think the thing,
these I disagree with some of the things in these rankings. I'm trying to get like a whole sheet so I can see that all orange, so I can really break it down here.
Anybody be critical of a schedule that includes non-conference A&M and South Carolina?
They're not being. Well, that's my
Okay, I have them right here.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
Okay, so I'm fine with the top 8. I guess you could put Oklahoma at 9. They have nobody this week. Or actually, they have Iowa State coming up. I mean, the schedule wrong. I have a problem. I do have a problem with Florida at 10, though. I do have a problem with that. I'm happy that they put them above Auburn because of the head-to-head, but I do have a problem with that. I think that heavily favors the SEC.
Over Clemson. Well, that's Clemson specifically. Two outstanding teams, obviously. You got
See what the chair says.
the close game against UNC for Clemson, and when you look at Penn State's resume with wins over Michigan and at Iowa, those are marquee wins. And you look across.
If you're mad, I agree a lot.
7 of their 8 opponents to 13.
Would be LSU Mac Jones.
So again,
I'm not mad. I'm just disagreeing.
The committee felt that Penn State was a notch above. So is this all to do with the?
I'm okay with Penn State ahead of Clemson.
How much did that?
I'm absolutely okay with it. I don't have it, but I think there's an argument there.
Compared resumes, you look at every single game, and that was a game equally for Penn State. Winning against a ranked Penn State and a ranked Iowa were key wins as well. All right, you got a couple of Power 5 teams that are still unbeaten, ranked 12th and 17th, respectively. Baylor and Minnesota.
Yeah, I need explanation for Minnesota 17.
On those two teams, in the judgment of the committee, should they stay unbeaten because of their schedule up to this point? Well, I mean, obviously we put them where they were when you look at schedule strength. Baylor played 3 non-conference games.
A lot. The highest group of 5 team ranked is Cincinnati at 20. And then 21 through 25, the only non-group of 5 team is Oklahoma State. So, yeah.
Among the 6, 7, 8, 9 group, the most questionable loss is clearly the one that Georgia suffered to South Carolina.
I'll find Georgia at 6. They have the wins over Florida. They have the wins over Notre Dame. They lost a game in overtime to South Carolina. Granted, that loss is looking really bad right now, but I mean, all I'm saying is I'm not mad about that loss. San Diego State should have been in it. That is one team I am a bit surprised not in it, but they haven't really won any of those games really convincingly, and also the resume isn't the best. Next week it should be 1 Bama, 2 Ohio State, 3 Penn State, 4 Georgia, 5 Clemson, 6 Oregon. Well, whoever wins that Bama LSU game is going to be number 1. And I don't think you drop LSU or Bama, whoever loses that game, that much. The only thing I agree with is the top 8 and Wake Forest and Iowa. I absolutely agree with Iowa. Where do you have Wake Forest at? 19. I have them at 22. I think Wake Forest is going to get blown out by Clemson here in a few weeks. A guy's name is LOL. You're mad.
Schedule overall looks a little stronger than LSU, despite the fact that LSU has played Auburn, Florida, and Texas.
Oh, I get it. That's my fault. The Zebras. That's my fault. My apologies.
Well, 2 outstanding teams who obviously recognized LSU's marquee wins against Florida.
Yeah, if that's the case at the end of the season, Big Ten versus Big Ten and SEC versus SEC, there will be an 18 playoff as probably next year.
Explosive offensive playmakers. And Chase Young's probably as disruptive a defensive player as there is in the country. And when you look at their
I have Navy at 23. They have them at 24. I think they're underranking SMU a little bit. I mean, SMU, they beat TCU. Yeah, it was a close game on Houston on Thursday night and on the road yet. And they went on the road against Memphis. I thought they played well.
He has to recuse himself and go out of the room when the Ducks are.
I think it's worth mentioning again that Ohio State in strength of schedule is 20. That's higher than LSU.
I'm hoping Chase Young just doesn't have a lights-out game this upcoming Saturday. Whoever loses LSU and Bama, their season's over. I disagree with that. And the winner of the SEC championship will be in the conference. Well, obviously.
I think that and the way they look week in and week out. Well, that's why they're one.
I disagree, though, paying a 2-loss team in the top 10.
Yeah, completely forget about them. And it's a team that has 3 players that should be in the Heisman discussion right now.
People forget about Ohio State.
where he was like solidly.
You're so lucky. I promise I'll do the streaming to the end of this, because I will have turned it off right there and there. People forgetting about Ohio State, Jesse Palmer. That's why no one fucking likes you. I'll have Baylor at 10, Florida at 11. I don't know if Baylor deserves to be in the top 10. Well, I did have him in the top 10, but I mean, a few rankings here and there, it doesn't really matter. It looks like they're wrapping up the show, which means I'm wrapping up the stream. We've been on here for an hour. Thanks for watching. This got great views. We're going to do this every time they release the rankings. Next live stream is going to be on Thursday, Thursday Night Lights, where I basically talk about the NBA. So stay tuned for that. Picks will be out tomorrow. I'm hoping I don't have to do any other previews. Do I have to do any other previews? Let's see if I have to do any other previews. I do not need to do any other previews. Okay. Thanks for watching. McD the Beast here signing off.